So if you're someone that has shoulder pain, then you're going to want to check out this story because we have Nick here, his is a patient of ours, and tried a lot of different things and was having a lot of shoulder pain. And often what happens in our medical system is we go right to the shoulder saying, that's what we have to do. We have to look at the shoulder. And in reality, there's a lot of other areas that can create shoulder pain. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So welcome, Nick.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about your story, how you got injured, how long you've been dealing with this. Let's start there.
Yeah, so I was a Division I student athlete throughout college. So I always loved going to the gym and getting a lot of energy out. It was always something I really looked forward to doing. Right when I graduated college, I was always in the gym pretty much once a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And after about a year and a half of doing that, it caught up with me. And the routine bench press, I was hitting pretty often. The overhead press, I was hitting really often and not focusing on a lot of what you guys later found out was my scapular weakening that I had going on, really caught up with me and wound up causing a lot of shoulder pain to the point where I couldn't actually do any bench press or really lift anything across my body, overhead, nothing like that, for about a year and a half.
Oh gosh. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about I'm sure you went to the doctors. What were some of the things that they said?
Yeah, over that period of time, once again, being a student athlete for so many years, I was really used to, oh, something's wrong, just call a physical therapist, find the first one you can find, and usually they can figure it out for you. So I had tried probably about 5 different professionals before I finally found my way to you guys. Everything
Wow.
from a physical therapist to a chiropractor to a massage therapist, and tried a few of each, I would say, before I eventually found Empower.
Yeah. So what was it that they did that was maybe like how are we different compared to them and the way we
Yeah,
approached everything?
I would say the first thing was you guys did a really holistic check of all of my mechanics. I would oftentimes walk into other offices and it felt like they had 15, 30, maybe 45 minutes if I was lucky to see me, and I was in and out, and it was very methodical. It wasn't really too in depth.
Yep.
Wasn't a very deep overview. When I went to you guys, just for the first initial consultation, I remember walking in, and I believe you and Natalie were sitting right there. And you said, just by the way I was walking, you could already pinpoint exactly what was wrong with me, just by the
Yes.
way I was sitting with my
Yep.
posture.
Yep.
So it was extremely night and day experience between you guys and them, because then you did a whole holistic check and found truly the root of the issue that, once again, after a year and a half, I finally got a lot of relief from that pain.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize is when people have shoulder pain, you have to look in the spine. You have to look and
Yeah.
see how things are moving in your neck, how things are moving in your thoracic spine, because they're all connected. And if something's not moving, then you just have that compensation pattern. But the first thing people want to go to is, oh, it's just a weakness thing. Oh, it's just a soft tissue thing. But they're not getting into like, well, why is it weak? Why is the soft tissue like this? And if you don't get to that, then you just aren't going to solve anything. And a lot of people don't even go into looking at that as a shoulder issue. I mean, we literally have a client that decided not to go and see us, and the doctors convinced them to have rotator cuff surgery. Had the surgery. This is an athlete. Had the surgery, and came back and told us, like he called like a it's been like a year and a half. He goes, my same pain's back and I have another tear. And I'm like, yeah, like I was saying before, no one's getting into what you're doing and why it's happening. And I saw you for that
Yeah.
first visit. You were not moving. I said, please don't have the surgery. But the doctors, they're like, your arm's going to fall off and you're going to die if you don't have the surgery.
Yeah, that was another thing I really appreciated about you, is you guys didn't just tell me to take a bunch of ibuprofen and think it would go away immediately, or worse, sign up for surgery. You guys actually got to the root of the problem
Yeah.
very, very quickly and really dug out that issue so quickly. So I'm super appreciative of your methodology there.
So tell us a little bit about your fears if this was not going to resolve. I mean, I can only imagine being an athlete myself. And if someone said I couldn't exercise, I think my husband would divorce me because I would be a nightmare to live with.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. I was so much less fun to hang out with for that like year and a half, I swear. Because it's something you look forward to every day, is going and getting your exercise, whether that's a run or the gym or whatever your goals end up being. So
Yes.
if every day you show up to the gym and you just know you can only give 40% of what you actually want to, you're just really stuck in a rut. It just
Yeah.
doesn't feel good at all
Not fun.
mentally. So yeah, for that solid year and a half, I was really worried that I would never get to just get a good full workout in again, get a good sweat in at the gym again, and just get that rush of having a good workout in. And thank God that's now been alleviated.
Were there any fears that like I'm not going to be able to get this resolved, that I might
Oh
have
yeah.
to have surgery?
Oh yeah. I was worried for a while that eventually I was going to have to really consider surgery. And that was the last thing I felt like doing, especially a healthy 25-year-old that I
Yeah.
just didn't want to consider shoulder surgery for
And shoulder
anything like
surgery is
that.
not fun.
Exactly. Yeah. The recovery I can only imagine. So I really
No,
did not want to go down that route.
no, not at all. So tell us your experience. You told us a little bit about our process with this injury, like even from like visit to visit compared to even other places that you were at.
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest differences, it really stems from I felt like you guys cared as much about my injury as I did. And I could really tell you guys were, I didn't have to remind you of what my problem was every time I walked in. You guys just knew because you remembered because you cared. And it was really, really helpful. The first time I walked in, once again, I think you and Natalie were sitting there. And right as I walked over to you, you were like, I can already tell. As his scapula is super weak, and you came up with a bunch of different ways to help
Things
get
that
to
you
the
need
root of
me
the
to look
problem.
at this and this and this and this. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And you guys found the root cause of my issue. And then over the probably several weeks that I was going to you guys, you came up with a progression each week that I was
Yeah.
getting progressively better and seeing how I responded with certain movements, with certain strengthening, and then adding more and adding more. So there was
Yes.
continued progression each week.
Yeah. That's, I mean, ultimately kind of what I tell people is like we coach people through the process because
Yeah,
we know what to do and we listen to your body. So we know if we can push it more or if we need to back off, but it's all on how your body responds to what we give you, which is why we're always asking questions constantly to
yeah.
understand how your body's responding. So what would you tell someone that is on the fence about coming in to see us? Because we do have people on the fence.
Yeah, hard to believe, but to that individual, 100% it's worth it. I have tried so many different practitioners of all kinds, massage therapy, chiropractic, physical therapy. Empower truly knows, it seems like everything about the human body. There wasn't one thing I could describe to you or your staff that you guys could not figure out what was going on with me. And I would say, especially because you guys are so equipped and you all work together too. Like when
Yeah.
I felt like walking into Empower, I wasn't only working with Natalie, who was, of course,
You're
brilliant
working
with
with a
all of
team.
this, but yeah, it was an entire team that I felt like was giving advice to me the entire time. So it
Yes.
felt like I was getting the advice of like four experts for the price of one, which was
Yes.
such a deal when every one of those experts is so, so good already.
Yeah, that's why how we like to do it, because it's not one person. Like we all can collaborate together, and
Yeah.
together we're better. And so even when people have tough cases, or I have a tough case, or Natalie has a tough case, or whatever the case may be, we are always sitting down and talking about it, and we're all and processing through it together as a team. So that's one thing that makes us I think really different. It's the way I want to be treated. I want to create an office that's the way I want to be treated, because
Yeah.
in the medical system it's so frustrating because people are spending less and less and less time with people. And oh my gosh,
Oh,
as
yeah.
AI comes in and you're going to be talking to a screen, I'm like, no, let's talk to a person. Like, can we just
Yeah.
talk to a person? And I don't want to go that direction at all because
Yeah.
it's frustrating. I mean, I see it every day with patients that come through our doors.
Yeah. Very. I definitely had that experience with other offices. I would walk in, get maybe 5 minutes with the actual professional, and then I would just get passed along to another staff and get a machine hooked up to me for a
Yeah.
TENS machine or something like that. I was
Yes.
like, oh, I paid a lot of money to get like 5 minutes with you. Ah, that's kind
Yeah.
of disappointing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that did not happen at all with you guys. So very
Yeah.
appreciative of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Your story is really going to help people. I know people find us because people listen to stories like this. And I'm hoping that someone will hear this and they'll be like, oh my gosh, no, that sounds like me. Maybe I actually can get help and give hope to other people, because we have a lot of people that have just kind of lost hope. I mean, how many times? I mean, 6, 7 different providers before coming in,
Yeah.
and finding like someone that actually could help. It's a common story that we hear from a lot of our clients. So thank you so much.
Oh, no problem at all. Happy to help. Definitely recommend give Empower a visit. They 100% will deserve it. I promise you.